wafisadi wote wakitaka kuniletea kisirani, either wahame Kenya.
What are you saying?
Ama waende jela.
What is he saying?
Ama waende mbinguni. Hakuna dawa ingine.
Sema watu. Wewe William Ruto.
Back to our YouTube channel. Thanks for your great support. Asanteni sana kuendelea kusupport hii channel. Nyinyi ni watu wa nguvu zaidi. Bila kupoteza time, karibuni tena niendelee kupakulia jinsi ambavyo mambo yanaendelea kuchemka hapa nchini Kenya. Na nilikuambia kwamba guys, ukiona nimekupostia, ujue tu tumejaribu kucollect mambo na tumekupangia step by step in this video. Kwa hivyo guys, usijaribu kuswipe up this video. Kitu ya kwanza, William Ruto amejiingiza kwa problems ama troubles ambazo pia zinaenda kuchangia pakubwa yeye kwenda nyumbani 2027. I can tell you for free. Kitu ya kwanza guys, kwa hii video tunaenda kuangalia Mkunji amekuwa released, na baada ya kuwa released after being denied for 14 days, huyu jamaa tena ameamua confronting the president and Raila Amolo Odinga, kumaanisha uoga umeisha hapa nchini Kenya. Unaona watu wangu? So now, acha tuanze na CS John Mbadi. John Mbadi anatuambia kwamba hakutakuwa na do ya kufund education system. Wazazi wanaenda kuingia kwa mifuko. Na ndio maana nakwambia guys, William Ruto amejicreatea problems ama troubles za kumake sure anakuwa one term president. Why? Number one, you know guys, these parents wao ndo wanaenda kuvote 2027 na Gen Zs ambao watakuwa wameregister IDs. Unaona watu wangu? Na usisahau ya kwamba hii uchungu ambayo wazazi wanaenda kupitia, kutoa pesa zao wakilipa school fees, wakinunua vitabu, wakilipia exams, inatosha kupeleka William Ruto nyumbani. Because watakuwa wanaishi na hii uchungu wote up to 2027. Then ikifika tu wanajua tu huyu jamaa tunampeleka nyumbani because new government itakuwa ina fund watoto shule. Unajua serikali ya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta ilikuwa inatumana vitabu, unapata mnapewa 12 books A4. Aya, inalipia exams. Unaona watu wangu? Inatuma set books. Unaona watu wangu? But in William Samoei Arap Ruto's regime wameamua kukiuka na wameamua kutupilia hii mambo yote mbali. Huyu ni CS John Mbadi. Sikiza.
Currently, learners are provided with tuition and operations cost at the rate of Kenya shillings 1,420 for primary education. For junior school, it is 15,042 per child, and per capita for senior secondary school is 22,244. However, due to constrained fiscal space and other emerging priorities within the education sector, updating these rates might be untenable. The government will, however, consider reviewing these rates should revenue performance improve. Again, Madam Chair, we are getting more and more children in our schools, and the revenue performance is not increasing at a faster pace. And so sometimes the rates may look low, but again, we have to operate within the fiscal framework.
This particular figure for the last 4 or 5 years has never been attained in the budgeting of the money that comes to the ministry. And that is because the numbers of students have been going up, but the figure has remained static. Administratively, the ministry has taken steps to ensure timely disbursement of capitation, again, as my colleague said, at the ratio of 50, 30, and 20. First term 50, second term 30, and third term 20%.
After speaking, Ken Babu anajaribu kurespond. Fireworks in TV47. Skiza.
Kenya Kwanza, President William Ruto was on record over promising to convince Kenyans or convince the populace to give him an opportunity. Whatever he was saying, he was very much aware of the available resources and the capacity of the nation to either deliver or not to. So in whatever thing that he's saying right now, he has a responsibility. In fact, there is no in the constitution that is stipulated that a president should serve for 2 terms. So he has up to 2027 to deliver what he promised, because when he was campaigning, President Ruto was not campaigning, was not giving a manifesto that will be delivered in 10 years. he was giving a manifesto that will be implemented in 5 years within the terms at which he was elected by that time, by then. So whatever he said should be administered and delivered within 5 years. So then, if he seeks re-election, he gives us a report and an advancement of what he would like to progress with. So up to now, he cannot say that, oh guys, you need to give me time or do what. No. He has a manifesto, the better manifesto. Let him implement that manifesto within 5 years. The Constitution does not promise him or guarantee him a second term. Get that? That now is left for the people. Let me just say something kidogo about the education. Allow me make it clear that, Fred, we are doomed as a country. If we are now talking about not offering education, then there is no need of even the country existing, because that is the basis. That is where we start from. That is the most critical thing you can give to anybody. Because if you are educated, Fred, today, if you are Dr. Fred, there is no day we will wake up and strip it off you. You need that education. So if we are talking about, we have billions of money to say that we are going to build a church, we have billions of money to say that we are doing economic empowerment, which ends up into 64 shillings. We have monies to walk around and show opulence, but we cannot fund the most critical thing. Go into those, economic empowerment gatherings. People are so vulnerable, people are hopeless. And those families, most of them are anchoring that if their sons or daughters get quality education, something or there shall be a change in their families. So what we are asking, how did President Kibaki manage to run free primary education between 2003 up to 2008, when he also introduced free secondary education in day schools? How was he able to manage that? And the issue of population increment, as the more population grows, the more taxes you collect. Get that? So it is something that it's a match. So we cannot say that the government cannot fund free education because people are many. The same thing, people are many, are also paying taxes. Fred, let me say that we are wasting a lot of money in things that do not matter as a country. And I think it's high time that the Kenya Kwanz regime, because they have that mandate as of now, revise their priorities and ensure that they invest appropriately. But if they cannot do it, we are the loyal opposition. When we take power, we will show them what needs to be done that can benefit the common mwananchi. My brother said something about the popularity or the famousness, the political famousness or popularity. I can say that today, if you go into any villages today, any child of age 5 and above knows that there is somebody in this country called William Ruto. They do. But unfortunately, the guy is popular and famous on wrong reasons. He's very popular. President Ruto today is very popular, but for wrong reasons. That if you want to talk of, if you ask any child around, they will tell you, oh, tunajua mtu anaitwa Ruto. Mnamjua aje? Ati abduction. Atipiga vijana risasi. Ati watu wanaiba pesa. You get that? So the president is very popular. Already is popular. So we cannot say that the government is being honest with the Kenyans by telling us that they cannot fund education for them to not to be popular politically and be honest. There is nothing like honesty in that. In fact, it's a scheme to make Kenyans comfortable that there's not enough resources to fund education so that they can steal more in the pretext that, guys, we do not have money. They're just creating bases to keep looting. This regime is very popular. And popular for the wrong reasons. Number one, abduction. If you talk of abduction, you cannot mention any regime. Moi did it, but it was not to this extent. Look at that. If you talk of forced extrajudicial killings, you cannot mention Kibaki. You cannot mention Uhuru. You will mention this regime. If you talk of corruption, it is now at the top. Corruption is sitting. But look at the Kenya Kwanz regime. During their campaign period, they were campaigning on the grounds of providing affordable education, affordable healthcare, affordable housing. Today, as it stands, nothing is affordable. Education is now on the trajectory of being swept away. And I said it the other time when they came up with the issue of new funding model. When the students realized that this thing is not favorable as it's being made to look like, and the parents also noted that this thing will affect us, the students and the parents went to the streets, agitated against it, and what did the government do? They put up a secretariat committee to look into the issues and areas of advancement. Up to date, there is no report that has been tabled and said that these are the proposals from the students following the the consultations that were done, and this is how we can readjust the affordable, new funding model to suit everybody. Nothing has happened. So what I can say on this issue, Fred, is that the NFM, the new funding model, is faulty, and it's not people-centered, and it's going to kill the education level. It's going to kill higher learning institutions. Number two, reduction of capitation will automatically result into high dropouts. And I want to tell you that very few families will be able to educate their children. Number three, the issue of bursaries. And my brother has mentioned it, and it's good that for the first time I'm hearing it. I've heard him talk something out of heart, honestly. It's not something common with people in government. We need to disband the bursaries and put it in one basket so that we can fund education. The critical thing we need in this country, before we look at anything, are two: education and health. You get me? So the MPs must now relinquish the bursary. We have the governor's bursary. In my lifetime, I have never seen anybody who have ever received governor's bursary. Maybe, if you have. Me, I've never seen anyone. In my circles, sijawahi ona mtu amepata bursary ya governor. We have the president's bursary, scholarship. In fact, the president's scholarship, you cannot get it if you're not in the trenches in the corridors of power. So to some extent, it is put there fully budgeted for, but for specific people. If you're not a son or a daughter of a minister, you cannot find yourself in Australia. If you are not Chamge, and I dare challenge my brother to contradict this. If you are not Chamge, my friend, you cannot find scholarship to go to Australia. And it is on record. They are the majority. Those are scholarships that form live within the president's scholarship. Let me just, we have the MCS also issuing bursaries. So we need to collect all these monies, put in one basket, and offer affordable and quality education. Finally, let me just address something my brother raised here, that the government is using this tactic of reducing the number of young people or people who will be asking for jobs. You cannot deny people food, because if they get energy, they will ask you for what they should do with that energy. My brother, let everybody go to school, let everybody get the academic, and let them do whatever they want to do with that education. In 1997, William Ruto was already a member of parliament. In 2003, when free education was being implemented, William Ruto was serving a second term. And William Ruto was a beneficiary of boom at that time. The same replication of HELB, which is currently fighting to do away with. So in short, the guy is telling us that I understand the privileges and the opportunity that comes with HELB being in position and free primary education and secondary being in position. And therefore, I cannot allow you, mtoto ya mama mboga, to get those opportunities.
So William Ruto anafaa tuhesabu ya kwamba yeye anaenda one term. Asituambia kwamba yeye ataenda two terms. Kama anaambiwa kwamba yeye atakuwa two term, places zingine basi anafichwa. Unaona watu wangu? Second story of the day ni kwamba nilikuambia Mkunja, member of parliament, alikuwa denied for 14 days after being arrested after Sabasaba day. Na ndio huyu amechomoka confronting the president plus Raila Odinga because wamekiuka kama hiyo MOU yao ambayo waliandikishana. Utakuja kurealize kwamba wamekiuka mambo mengi ndani. Na Raila Odinga amekuwa kiwitness tu mambo yakifanyika, na niendo alikuwa anafanya nini? Waliandika hiyo mambo kwamba hii na hii haitakuwa, to agree ndio tufanye kazi kwa pamoja. Without that then tuta exit. But Raila Odinga amechelewa kuexit. So guys, and show me like, na nasema thanks kwa hiyo like yako. Acha Mungu akutetee. Hii ndio mambo inachemuka tena kwa mitandao. Sikiza.
Nyumbani. Na nitaanza kwanza na kushukuru mawakili. Nimekuwa na mawakili wamejitolea, mawakili ambao wanajituma, vile mimi husema form ni kujituma. Na mimi nataka kuchukua nafasi hii kusema asanti kwa mawakili wote, kutoka kwa senior counsel Kalonzo Musyoka kwenda kwa hawa mawakili Gen Z ambao wamejitokeza kinagaubaga kutetea haki ya mbunge wa Manyata. Pia nataka kushukuru watu ya Embu mahali popote wako. Na niseme kutoka hii maneno ikuje, nimeona support kubwa sana kutoka kwa mapadri, kutoka kwa mapastors. Watu wametengeneza prayer teams, wananiombea saa 3 am in the morning. Na mimi nataka kusema asanti sana. Niseme sitawahi hata kamwe kuachilia watu yangu, hata nitishwe, niambiwe nini, mimi nitaendelea kusimama kidete kutetea watu yangu ya Embu na kusimama na msimamo ambao ni wa haki. Nataka kushukuru koti kwa sababu nilikuwa nataka kukamatwa 14 days niwekwe korokoroni, lakini koti imeona ni muhimu ya kwamba mbunge aendelee kufanya kazi yake. Na pia wamesema si lazima niende kila siku pale DCI, ile kitu ambayo ilikuwa imewekwa ili nisiweze kufanya kazi yangu. Na nataka kusema asanti kwa koti. Mimi I have full confidence with the court. Na wakati nililetwa hapa ati mimi ni terrorist, nilijiuliza maswali nyingi sana. Na nikiangalia hivi mimi naona hata sababu kubwa ya kusema muda ikuwe mrefu ya kufanya investigations ni kwa sababu hakuna kitu ya kufanya investigations. Lakini sheria tutafuata, but tunataka kusema hii maneno ile imefanyika hapa kwamba mimi sasa ndio guinea pig wa kucharge watu ambao wako na msimamo kwa maneno ya terrorism. Jina moja ambayo Osama bin Laden na Al-Shabaab wako nayo. Mimi nataka kusema we will challenge it in the court of laws za hii nchi yetu ya Kenya, na tumesimama kusema hii koti ambayo tuko hapa katika Kahawa, ambayo financiers wale waliweka hapa ni United Nations, UNODC, pamoja na United States Government. Hii koti ilikuwa ya kuhakikisha East Africa iko na koti ambayo inaweza leta wale watu ambao ni wagaidi na wanaumiza wananchi wa hii area ya East Africa. Lakini mimi sasa ni mgeni wake. Mimi mbunge wa Manyata ni mgeni wake. Ni kitu ambayo imefanya nijiulize maswali mingi sana, and I appeal kwa the financiers wa hii koti. They call the state to order, kwa sababu hii si koti ya Wakenya, hii ni koti ya magaidi. Na mimi nimeota nikiwa vitu mingi, lakini sijawahi ota nikiwa gaidi kama Osama bin Laden. Na mimi nataka kusema, kwa sababu hii maneno ni ya siasa, nataka kuongea niseme hivi ya kwamba watu wakifuata siasa ya Mheshimiwa Mukonji wataona ni ngumu sana mimi nitumie matusi. Ni ngumu sana nikuwe nafanya attacks zenye hazieleweki. Nafanya siasa ambayo ni ya haki na ya kusimamia watu yangu. Ile kitu nataka kusema ni by all means, liwe liwalo, what I will not accept ni mimi kukua ati mumeniwekea mizigo nikose kufanyia watu yangu kazi ama nikose kuwafanya representation. But at the end of the day, kwa sababu sheria ni sheria, koti itaamua. Ile kitu ya muhimu ni kuambia Wakenya na watu wangu ya Embu, tukue na subra, let's keep peace. Najua watu wengi sana wangetaka kuleta maneno ya vurugu, lakini nimesema let's keep calm. Wale watu wananileta hapa wanajulikana, wanajulikana na majina. Wale watu wanapiga ripoti wanasema finya kabisa, wanajulikana, sio lazima niwataje. Lakini nataka kuwaambia wajue ule Mungu mimi uomba na ile haki mimi usimama nayo itanitetea, itanishikilia na nitaendelea kutetea watu yangu bila uoga. Hakuhitajiki amendment yoyote ya Terrorism Act. Iko very clear, na ikitumika vizuri wale magaidi wa ukweli watapatikana. Lakini kuitumia kisiasa, na ndio maana tumesema lazima tufanye kazi na koti. Na nimeona CJ Koome jana ameshtumu quotation ile ilikuwa imewekwa na ODPP ya kusema kwa sababu ulitaja ati ndio sababu tunatumia hiyo kucharge watu na terrorism. I think it's important to know that tungesema kila kitu inasemwa huko nje itumike kisheria, hata watu wengine saa hii wangekuwa naenda na risasi kwa mguu, kwa sababu ilisemekana tupigwe watu risasi. So we can't be following everything yenye inatajwa na inasemwa. But at the same time, I am happy with that clarification kutoka kwa Chief Justice. But we are coming back to the courts for interpretation ya kusema maneno iko na maana gani. Na tuseme hata ni moja kukua ulikuwa kwa maandamano, lakini ukiwa kwa barabara tena, hiyo sasa ukue gaidi, hiyo nayo ni maneno mengine different. But we will prove that in the court of law. Mimi nataka kusema asanti na Mungu awabariki.
Just one last question. You've been here since a day after the Sabasaba protest, and later we saw former Prime Minister talk about conclave. We haven't heard your voice on the same.
Maneno ya kuongea ni vizuri watu kuongea, lakini zile vitu zinaumiza wa Kenya si vitu ambazo hazijaongewa. Ni vitu ambazo zinajulikana kutoka wakati kumekuwa na vurugu wakati wa finance bill hadi saa hizi. So nimekuwa nikiobserve Raila Odinga, nimekuwa nikimuobserve vizuri. Nimeona sasa wamefanya broad based government, lakini sasa anachukua microphone anaongelesha wa Kenya. Lakini hata akiongea kama akisema ameshtumu maneno ya kupiga watu risasi kwa miguu, tunasikia bado inasemekana watu wapigwe risasi kwa miguu. Akishtumu maneno ya abduction zinaendelea. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka kuelewa hii kitu ya kuweka watu wawili pamoja, is it working for the nation of Kenya? It is not working. Kwa sababu kama mlikuja pamoja, mlikuwa muongee na msikizane na ukapeana hata memorandum yako wakati mlikuwa mna sign memorandum of understanding as between the two parties. Kwa hivyo hiyo maongezi ambayo Raila ana propose, it is not genuine. Kwa sababu lazima ianze kwa kuonyesha commitment ya ile vitu wa Kenya washasema na iko in the public domain what Kenyans want. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Kirago Adhuta. I'm part of the legal team that is representing Mheshimiwa Mukunji. So today we were here to take a ruling on the application which had been filed by the DCI seeking to detain Mheshimiwa for 14 days for them to conduct investigations. Last time when we were before the court allowed the three people, that is Mheshimiwa and the two other respondents, to be released on cash bail of 300,000 or a bond of 1 million shillings. And they did that. They've been free. Now we were coming for the substantive ruling. And the court has rendered itself, and it has found that the application to detain the three respondents did not have merit, and it was dismissed. So the same board terms that were set last time will continue to be in place. We'll be back on 26th of August 2025 for us to be updated on the progress of investigations. The DPP has indicated to court that investigations are so far 70% done. Is only a few items which are remaining, analysis of some M-Pesa statements and analyzing the electronic gadgets. So by that time, it is hoped that the investigation will be over, so that then we know whether we are going for plea or the 3 respondents will be released.
All right, maybe we get to hear from Mheshimiwa. Oh. Okay. Yes,
I can address you from
Akili. Your camera.
The cameras don't move. Yes, as Mr. Wadhuta has briefed you, this is a matter where the LSK had an interest, and we were presenting them together with Mr. Gung here, and that is a position. The matter is coming up for ruling, because the main concern was that these are matters which arose from a conversation and some activities which were politically related. Hence, they should not find their way in the Prevention of Terrorism Act. More particularly, they should not be prosecuted in this court in Kahawa. I think that's the main thing. And now the magistrate has given his ruling, and he has said that the accused persons, or so we call them respondents at this stage, continue cooperating in the investigations as we await for the formal charges. That's all. Yes. Maybe unless you have a question to engage.
Maybe you have seen the ODPP and the Chief Justice.
Yes.
Maybe conflict of terrorism act. Maybe what is your
Yes, and first, this is not the official position of the Law Society of Kenya, because we were just given instruction to appear in this matter with limited instructions. But we are all members of the Law Society of Kenya, so individually, we can always comment on anything that is happening in the corridors of justice. What we can say, it was very unfortunate for the Chief Justice to make the comments he made, and you see now she's trying to do some damage control, but the baby is already born, the baby is out there, and I think it's incumbent upon the court to have a policy on what matters can be brought here in conjunction with the ODPP, and above all, by reading the Prevention of Terrorism Act, because it's what the Act contemplated. Who will be accused under that Act? And you read that in conjunction with our Constitution. It gives you a very clear picture of who are the kind of people you should find in this court. This is not a court where you bring people who are trying to express their freedoms, people who are trying to fight for the democratic space, people who are trying to ask for good governance. They are not the kind of people you bring to this court. Because if you look at the charges that we are facing in this court, and the charges that we are likely to face in this court, there is an alternative in the what you call the penal code, that is Cap 63. But ideally, you can say this is an abuse of the court process by the DPP. These are clear abuse of the court process by the DPP, and that's why we have approached the High Court with the petitions. In due course, you will be served with those petitions. And we want now the High Court to pronounce itself in matters where it is clearly shown that they've emanated from a political action or a political consequence. Do you charge those civilians? Do you charge those protesters? Do you charge those citizens with terrorism charges? You know that is stifling in democracy, in other words. I think that's all. Yes.
a figure of relief?